Good morning. I'm Dr. Sunanda Samathar Corrado, co-hosting the John Telford Detroit Show with Dr. John Telford, coming to you live 10 o'clock every Wednesday on WJZZ Cool TV, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Dr. John Telford is a former Detroit Public School superintendent, a former world-class athlete, and conqueror of Olympic champions, a championship track coach, poet, newspaper columnist, longtime civil rights crusader, and the author of 6 Detroit-oriented books: The Poet, Emperor of Earth, What Old Men Know, Creative Insubordination, The Will Robinson Story, The Poetic Prancings of Mad John, his explosive autobiography, A Life on the Run, and another forthcoming poetry book, Athletes, Activism, and Apple Boughs, a Detroit poetic epic. He also has a show on WCHB AM 1340, Detroit's gospel station, Saturday mornings at 9:30 and Monday evenings at 6:30. That's Saturday mornings at 9:30 and Monday evenings at 6:30. His books are available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, or just by calling The Good Doctor at 313-460-8272. That's 313-460-8272. Dr. John Telford has been called a legend and also a lightning rod for controversy. He has received the Detroit City's Council Spirit of Detroit Award, the Joe Louis Foundation Spirit of the Champ Award. He was named Wayne State University's Alumnus of the Year in 2001, and a Detroit track was named in his honor. His email address is drjohntelfordedd@aol.com. That's drjohntelfordedd@aol.com. Now, without further ado, I present to you that crusading old native Detroiter, Dr. John Telford.
Yay! Thank you, Dr. Sunanda Corrado, that PhD from Columbia University, who is an anthropologist by training. Dr. Corrado has been teaching at Wayne County Community College District for over 10 years, and she looks like she's 16 years old, so how can that be? She is currently a researcher for the Detroit Equity Action Lab, which is housed in the Wayne State University Law School, by the way. And she's founder and CEO of Education by Design. My name is Detroit. I'm a blue-collar town. Blue salt melts my mid-March snow. Speedy cars and sprinters spring from me. I father fierce fighters and funky music. In a Motown moment, I can spit the blues right back in a bureaucrat's eye.
That's right.
Have you never seen blue salt? No complex chemistry here, only the old color of a new sky. And there's a new sky dawning over Detroit today because we've got Tamika Davis on the show today, that accomplished poet.
Fellow Wayne County Faculty of Anthropology.
Anthropologists in the house today! Woo!
Best discipline
All
ever.
that good stuff.
Okay.
All right.
All that good stuff.
Everybody got a major in it.
All right.
But before I
excited
introduce Tamika, I've got to say this: we all stand or fall with the courageous freedom fighters in the Ukraine.
Yes.
And we're not going to get into that the way I usually do pretty deeply today, because I want this to be a more light-hearted program. But we stand with them. We stand with them all the way. And we'll be talking about that more on another show. You can bet we'll be doing that. Also, I want everybody to get a downtown monitor, a downtown Detroit monitor, because my Poets Corner is in there again. And I got a poem about the Great Gray Ghost. That's Henry Carr. They call him the Great Gray Ghost, probably the fastest sprinter who ever lived. Came out of Detroit Northwestern High School. Cool. I took workouts with him one time. I couldn't keep up with him. And I was nationally ranked at 200 meters. I couldn't keep up with him at 200 meters. Only a 17-year-old kid at Northwestern at the time. Ended up later winning the Olympic title, breaking world records and everything. Did it when he was still in high school.
All right.
But Tamika Davis.
Yes.
Tamika, welcome to the John Telford Detroit show today. And We want to interview you a little bit about yourself and what you're doing before we get into some of this risque poetry that we're going to be doing.
Thank you so much for having me, Dr. John Telford and Sananda. Thank you so much. It's
so Tamika, we want to know. You've got a name that goes beyond Tamika Davis.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I do.
And so what is that name and what does it mean?
So the name is Tamika Sharia Maleka, and Tamika is Japanese. It means sweet and of the people. It also is used very popularly since like the 2018, 2015 and up. It came, it kind of came onto the scene in 1970s, the late 70s, but it really began to get popular later in the 2000s when they heard it on rap songs and things like that. Tamika, right? But I like Tamika.
Can I ask you a second question?
Oh, we're not done
I'm not
with
finished.
her name.
And then Sharia, right? So Sharia means the path that takes you closer to God. It is like Sharia law. Spelled the exact same way. So to be sweet and of the people and to give you closer to the God, the path that takes you closer to God. Malaika, that means angel. And diamond, it brings it all together under pressure. You become this beautiful, priceless gem.
Okay, now remember you got to speak up into the mic because you were whispering.
Was I?
Yeah. Wasn't she?
Okay.
She was whispering. Beautiful, priceless gem.
Beautiful, priceless
Say
gem.
it.
A
Beautiful, priceless gem.
That's
all
what
right.
diamonds become. But only after and during quite a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, diamonds, they take a lot of pressure to
it
become
ain't easy
real
being
diamonds.
A diamond, that's right.
Okay, you want to ask a second question?
So what are your passions?
So my passions right now, I have 4 tenets
That's besides writing risque poetry.
Besides writing risque poetry.
Yeah.
But one of my passions is totally being risque. The 4 tenets to sort of my life living is creativity, healing, teaching, and love.
And why are these your passions?
Because they have all been intricate in my own healing and in my own path of finding myself and my authentic self.
Why is healing so much part of finding yourself? Why is healing part of that path?
Okay, to be real frank, I grew up with a lot of dysfunction, some alcoholism, some violence, domestic violence in the home, a bit of molestation, and a whole lot of esteem beating up on. And you think you are okay. And even though I was the child who I wanted to get out of the hood, I wanted to go to college, I still, even though I had that, still wanted to move forward. You don't have all the right tools, so you do the best you can. And then maybe years later you're in a relationship where you're in a marriage and you're not being your full self. And so you're unable to be your full self. And so maybe your mate takes advantage of you in some ways, and then you further become more restrained and your esteem becomes more beat upon, and then there's more dysfunction that you have to work through.
Maybe your mate needed to have his butt beat.
This is true.
So how do you deal with all this abuse and still succeed? You went to MSU, you went to Wayne State, your faculty, you have your own show on the station too.
I do.
Yeah. So
when does your show run? What is it? When does it run? Here
So
on
my
WJZZ.
show on WJZZ, Cool TV, the coolest station in the world. Okay, Orgasm, the aura, like reading your aura, Gasm show comes on every Friday at 7 p.m. live streaming right here.
I love that title, man.
The aura, Gasm, yes.
Yeah.
We're all about letting you vibrate on a higher level.
that's right.
All right. Okay, let me see what we got here. Okay, what projects, Tamika, what projects do you have going on right now?
So I have 2 major projects going on right now. One is I belong to a group called Erogenous. and we do music and spoken word and songs, and it's a healing energy, but it's very sensual and the first project is very, very, very sexy. There's sexy stories. It's called The Encounters Project. Ooh. And it's kind of a CD you put on and you just listen to, and you probably fuck and listen and fuck and listen, and that's how that goes. It tells stories, and it's a very sensuous experience.
All right.
Yes,
That's it. Your erogenous zones, I can remember
right.
Wayne Dyer wrote a book called Your Erroneous Zones.
Yes, right.
He was stealing from erogenous zones.
Right.
And actually, I helped him with that title.
Did you? I love that dude.
Yeah, he's passed,
He's gone.
Yeah. He was my student and athlete years and years ago. In fact, he was my assistant track coach at Pershing High School.
Really?
I was the one that talked him into getting his doctorate. Really.
That is something else.
And then I edited his dissertation.
What?
Yeah, I miss him too, man. He was an original. But anyway, we got another question. How can people contact you?
Wait, what's your other project?
Oh yeah, and the other project is Project Wow. So, okay, Erogenous, you can also check us out on our Facebook page. We have an Erogenous fan page on Facebook. But then I also have a Project Wow. Project Wow, W-O-W, Women of Worth.
Nice.
Women of Worth.
Project for everyone to join. I invite every woman to join because every woman has worth. And so we have a Facebook page too, Project Wow. We are currently working on our vaginal vitality series. We want people to have happy, healthy vaginas. Yeah. We are going to be doing the vagina monologues probably again this summer. And we're working on revamping the vagina monologues to make it more modern and include...
Oh, girl.
we had that guy on.
Oh, so we got to come back out and see the vagina monologues again because it changes every time.
We had Sean Williams on here,
Well, by 2023, I want to revamp it and maybe have a totally different name and newer stuff like since online dating, sexting, and lots of stuff that happens.
That's true. The themes are so varied now.
Yes. So 30 years ago, they didn't have all of that. So we want to update.
Oh, man.
How about vital, vigorous vaginas? Something with some alliteration in it.
Well, that's what the vagina vitality. We're going to have the Coochie Chronicles.
All right.
Or the vaginal vitriol.
No vitriol. No vitriol. Yeah, okay, how can people contact you to participate in some of your endeavors?
So I can be followed on Instagram at DiamondD313, and then there's information on there. I usually give inspirational quotes because I'm a corn dog. I like for everybody to be happy, and I want you to be on your highest level, and just, for us to just lift up, just be a little better every day. So Diamond D313, follow her, and then she's got information about the different things that's got going on. So Erogenous, and check us out on Facebook and our fan page, as well as Project Wow with our group. Project Wow group, fanbook group.
Diamond D313.
Diamond D313.
Diamond D313, and we need a commercial.
And you're watching The John Telford Show, coming to you live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please like, follow, subscribe to us, and thank you for watching WJZZ, the coolest station in the world.
Now, I'm going to save the last question for after we do some poetry, Jamaica.
Okay.
Because the last question looks kind of heavy, and that's something that you wanted me to ask. And you're going to start with a poem, and then I'm going to come with a poem.
Okay.
So why don't we do one of your risque poems?
I need some backup music
first.
Ooh. Put on something. Say, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Okay.
And be ready.
Be ready.
Well, I can do one while you're looking.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, let me do this one's a real short one though, so you better be ready.
Okay, that's cool.
This one is called Virginia's Vagina.
Okay.
And Virginia's vagina. and I wrote Virginia's vagina in 1953.
Okay.
We're not laughing at vaginas. I'm very proud of them.
That was the same year that I was in Virginia's vagina. But okay, Virginia's vagina. She was a Hungarian girl.
Okay.
Okay.
They call her Virgie. And,
Okay.
we went to Denby High together. That's when I
Alright.
was a senior there.
They're good dumplings too.
Virginia's vagina was covered with hair,
I hope so.
so long she could braid it and tie ribbons there. Okay, your turn.
Okay. All right. That's what you got from the experience.
Next one's a
inside of-
longer one, but
Okay.
let's hear yours.
That's perfectly fine. Okay, so I have one. It's about y'all will excuse me if I got to set my tone right. So sometimes in life, we have these experiences where people tell us things and it's not true, right?
Tell me that.
They hype your mind up, they mislead you, they lie to you, they give you a mind fuck, right?
Yeah, both men and women do that.
This is. But then, have you ever had someone make you think that the whole world just stopped spinning? That's a mind fuck.
She said that's a mind fuck.
That's a mind fuck. And there can be all different kinds. There can be all different kinds. There can be this type where someone lies to you and you might think that it's okay for them. And hell, sometimes you might even be lying to yourself. But my favorite, let me tell you about it. Alright. Now this one, it doesn't involve lies or deceit. And you see, it's a slow burn sprouting from the roots that grow deep. It starts in conversation with you. Conversations that are so colorful like spring gardens and lush like wild forest. Your vocabulary, the words are so vast and varied. Like the leaves of the plants under the shade of the canopy, they too vary in this wild forest of your mind, and I get lost. Splay my brain open, thoughts all spread wide, slip intimate exchanges of ideas and information, slip and slide. Easily in and out of each other's mouths and mind, enlightened, inspired. This mind fucks sublime.
All right.
I ain't done.
Okay. She ain't done.
Ain't no quickie.
Like I am watching a cinematic flick. It's as if my mind has been tricked. Your intellectual sensuality is so sexy, pulls me in deeps and thrusts into me, mental stimulation and titillation, and always satisfying beyond my expectation. To communicate with open and honest vibration. The opposite of complication sends my body into orgasmic exaltation. Keep me coming back for more love, light, and energy galore. Splay my brain open, thoughts all spread wide. Intimate exchanges of ideas and information slip and slide. So easily in and out of each other's mouths and minds. Love, light, energy. This mind fucks sublime. And I can't wait for you to lay that thing down on me. Feels so good. This mind fuck. This mind fuck is so good.
That was an elation sensation from Tamika Davis. Okay, my turn. This one I called And this is going to be in my newest poetry book. This my oldest poetry book, the one that I did is Poetic Prancing. It's getting pretty old.
Okay.
So I'm doing a new one called Athletes, Activism, and Apple Boughs.
Okay.
A Detroit poetic epic. And this is one of the poems going to be in it. Motown streets and mountings remembered. An amatory epical epic. With a nod to Dylan Thomas, in my mind I wander layers and apple bough decked streets of young and easy yesteryears. On 16th Street, where I came up, 2 blocks due south of Ferry Park, was where I made young Yetta yip in newfound pleasure in the dark. When we moved to Haverhill, way over on the northeast side, I laid Virgie, Joan, and Jill. Jill hoped one day to be my bride. I also boinked Juanita there in my daddy's smelly bed, plus Flora on the kitchen floor amid her cycle, flowing red. My mom found lipstick on the fly
Kids are gross.
of my unwashed white undershorts. She then had Dad give me the talk, which really put me out of sorts. Who was this girl, this naughty girl? My mom repeatedly would ask. I wouldn't tell her, though, because the girl was in her Sunday class. On stately Whitehill Street one day, that's Hill, not British Hall, I humped cute Katie on her couch, and after that I had to go. On Fairmount Court, sweet Adeline, oft indeed my fair mount there, spied my borrowed car nearby in Debbie's Drive, my secret lair. She got extremely miffed with me and snapped, "You'd better stay away." But another night she called to proffer me another lay. She picked me up and drove across the bridge onto Belle Isle. We copulated once or twice, then tarried there a while. One senior chick got frightened when her period was quite late. It was, thank God, a false alarm. It would have told our fate. She'd have lost her scholarship, and I'd have lost my track grant, too. We'd have bought some diapers then, instead of going away to school. 10 years later, now a teacher, I was still a horny creature. My pad had a revolving door on a rutting road called Mound, where married Mary came to come. On Mound Road, I rode her mound. My many maids there willingly got mounted and got rode, except when I was chilling or on penile overload.
Whew.
Those free and easy days gone by, under Dylan's apple bough, have lost their meaning through the years. Too frequently I feel I'm now a lonesome ghost. And actually I do. That's kind of a raunchy poem compared to your stuff. Your stuff is just really passionate. Okay, your turn.
Well, can we talk about the poem bit?
Yeah.
Sure.
But what I liked about your first poem was a lot of the pastoral intonations. People, like in Asian culture, people weave a lot of verdant and a lot of greenery and jungle and all that into the idea of love, like creepers.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Whereas, like, the American way of talking about, like, jungle love is something that's wild or two different people, like an animal kind of thing.
Right.
And you're talking more about, like, the earth taking
natural,
you
right.
in as you realize yourself outward.
Right.
You know, and it's funny because in the old days, the word intercourse used to mean talking. And making love was what you said to a woman to get her to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you made love before you got in bed. You
Right.
see, and that whole idea of the dexterity of the mouth, so to speak, right,
Yes.
is so lost.
It is.
Yeah, and you know, like we got rappers and we got kids writing beautiful lyrics, and the thing is, nobody celebrates these lyrics. I know those lyrics are out there. but it's not getting to the record labels.
Right.
It's in the culture. It's in the culture. It's that whole pastoral African kind of matriarchal kind of the root from the navel kind of feeling I get from what you're saying.
Yeah.
And it's absorbing and it's overwhelming. The sensuality is not something to conquer, but something that envelops.
We're
I'm
talking
glad
to
you talked about you. Glad you talked about that because it took me a while to embrace the sensuality that was just coming out and just doing this thing, you know. And other people, like, I'd be at church and then, you know, somebody be at church be like, "Oh, you look so sexy." I'm like, "Wait a minute, we at church, we ain't supposed to be sexy." Wait a minute, hold up.
That's what the switch is off.
Right. But I'm glad you said it because it did take me a while to embrace it. And now that, you know, the healing process and you embrace all that you are, good, bad, whatever it is, it just makes you your dynamic self. I do want to share that oral experience.
Yes.
And history.
Auditory vibration.
Yes, I am trying to affect the world by my voice.
And we cast spells on each other every day, the way we talk to each other.
Yes.
We cast energies upon each other.
Why not cast something positive or just something that'll just take you to another place?
Almost embryonic.
Yes.
Can I do a poem about oral before
Please do.
you do your
I
next
want to
poem?
talk about you was a hoe back in the day. You was just a young
Guys
hopper.
got passed
A
around.
young hopper.
Guys
Yeah.
get passed around a lot. They just don't understand that.
Yeah, I was.
Especially by older girls.
I admit I was terrible. I really was, but you know, I got
Very free, I take it.
too free, a
little
little
too
bit
free.
too. Particularly during I was married for 28 years with my first wife, and I was a dog.
Oh, you
And
were
I-
free
I-
during those years, huh?
Yeah, and I should not have been, but anyway, that's a whole different story.
We're
Anyway,
talking about different age too. When people got married at 16.
This one's a relatively more a recent one, but not that recent, about 10 years old. I call this one The Dame Who Tastes Just Like Champagne.
Okay, all right. What did she eat?
I've been, well, I don't know.
Great story.
I've been knowing a dame who tastes just like champagne. To this guzzler of beer, she's uncharted terrain. Deep dipping and lipping, and licking and sipping, quickening, wallowing, then swiftly swallowing. I tongue off her topping with long lollipopping, while the carnally knowing cause moaning and yowling, the cunningly lingual cause foaming and howling.
Yes.
Her causative factor in glad benefactor is digging that dame who tastes just like champagne. And she will go unknown in this program because she may be listening to it later.
All right. Okay. All right. So you still be in touch with the dame and tastes like champagne. Shout out to you, boo. I want to know what you be eating. That's what I want to know. That's how I want to get the champagne recipe going on.
I'll be eating her, actually. Okay. Your turn, honey. Your turn.
All right. So, this is not quite finished, but it's okay. It's okay. It's just talking about the love to fuck. I love to fuck. Licking and kissing. I love the touch. I love to be spanked until my bottom becomes ripe, sensitive, and happy, not trite. I love when you tie me up or tie me down, and then blindfold me, spin me all around. Let's have a good time. I have trust, and because of that, we'll have a good time when we fuck. Fuck me good, like you know you could. Remove inhibition and expectation. Move to a free space of excitement and exhilaration. Let us vibrate. Let us connect from feet to heartbeat. I like to fuck.
Oh man, I don't know how many people are watching this, but you might be getting some calls. Okay, here's one.
It's still an interviewing process. Okay.
Here's one. Just for the commercial, here's a quick one that I call 2 warnings.
Okay.
Copulate with married ladies, and you'll go straight down to Hades. If you also kiss and tell, you'll go to a deeper hell.
Better go to hell.
And you know, I like to imagine that my lifelong anti-racism and pro-human rights crusading could maybe get me a pass on that, but Sunanda, we need a commercial.
And you are watching the John Telford Show, coming to you live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and other top social media platforms. Please like, follow, share, comment, and subscribe to us and the various other programming that we offer here in WJZZ, including Orgasm.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching WJZZ, Cool TV, the coolest station in the world.
Can I do a fast one just before you do another long
Please
one?
do.
You should never be
brought a
fast,
couple.
John.
We
Only
just
on
brought
the
a
track.
couple?
Yeah, I didn't know,
Oh, you just brought a couple. Well, we might be interviewing you on some other stuff
That's okay, because we
quicker
can
than I...
talk about. We can talk
Oh
about.
no, we need to talk about we need to talk about sadomasochism and all that. That's a unique dynamic
Yeah.
to talk about in terms of mental.
I
Because
thought-
that's marriage without sex too.
It is.
I thought I just
Trust.
brought a few poems, but you know, they really aren't a few. I had a lot more. Maybe I should anyway, this one I call Wanderlust.
Wanda.
Yeah, Wanda was a waitress.
Where in the
she
world
was
is
a
Wanda?
married waitress.
Where
You know,
is Wanda?
I got no idea. This was like 40, 50 years ago. Wandering, wanton Wanda stoops to pull me in her where she poops. She also wants to take my thrusts deep down her throat or twixt her busts. Further, once in a good while, she likes to do it a doggy style. And you know, I didn't stay with her real long because I wasn't happy about her preferred point of penetration. But
She wants to do it in the titties and.
well, no, she liked it in the butt sometimes. That was the only time.
Okay.
Then, it's your turn.
I mean, it sounded very like any
crevice will work.
I know y'all in the
Yeah.
bathroom figuring it out. Sticky hair, girl. Here, try hair.
Was that a real itch? or-
Right.
She worked at this restaurant called Brownies, where they
Yeah.
wore these little sailor suits. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
what I met. She was a married woman. I didn't stay with her very long.
All right.
Of course,
and the
I
little
was.
brownie outfits were cute to you. Were they?
Yeah, a little cutie. That was a long, long time ago. I
I
don't think that
really-
restaurant's even there anymore.
I really enjoyed your S&M poem because it's really a metaphor for trust. And it's a metaphor for marriage too, because you know
It
a man
is.
ties a woman up when she gets married,
Yes.
whether it's her reputation or her finances. So I love how there could be a double entendre, that this pure sensuality and talking about flesh, but really
Yes.
talking about the mental complexity of flesh, the ability to trust each other, to twirl each other around, to be spanked.
You have to have trust there, right?
These ideas of play bring you back to childhood, right?
They do.
Yeah.
And such fun elements, right? In
Yeah.
childhood, it is fun and play. And then in the bedroom, it can be fun and play and a little more intense, but you're so right about having to have that trust between each other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
Because it's
fun.
not it's not a performance that's simply kinky. No, the
It's
kinkiness
not.
comes from the trust, from her suspending the disbeliefs that her mama taught her.
That's
My
right.
mama taught me about how men should be treating
That's
us.
right.
And we take away those distinctions between men and women. And we look at the prowess of each body, because each body has
Right.
its own strength.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Did we do our second commercial yet?
We did.
Yeah.
We just
We
did.
did? Okay, okay. You
And
got
then-
another poem?
I don't.
She doesn't have another poem.
That's okay. But we were talking about this very.
Well, I got a whole bunch. I still got some poems,
Okay.
man. I wanna...
Okay, we're gonna. Can we have just a little conversation?
Sure,
Just
sure. Go
work
ahead.
it
Go
out a
ahead.
little bit,
Go ahead.
and then we're gonna jump right back into the points. Cause
All right.
from the sensuality and the trust comes poetry too. So many things come when you're able to build this space
Yeah.
of trust. And nowadays, like being a single lady is crazy. You
Yeah.
single man. You single man out here.
I
right
am now. Unwillingly, but I am
Things
now.
go very fast now. People kind of want to jump into stuff.
I've been married 3 times.
Oh.
My second wife was a real wonderful lady. She was African American. My first wife was Irish lady.
Okay.
My third wife was a Jewish lady who passed. She passed a year ago.
Okay.
And I've been mourning her. But I want to keep this upbeat, so I don't want to get
That's
into
cool.
that.
But you guys had a lot of trust between you?
We absolutely did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so with that, you can agree, right? With great trust comes a great intimacy. The great ability, this path to do things with this person that you might not be able to do with someone who you haven't built that trust with.
You're absolutely right.
There you go.
Trust is everything. Honesty is everything. It took me a long time to learn that. 28 years I was married to my first wife, cheated on her like a dog, regret it. I was selfish, I was weak, but I was having a lot of fun, which I shouldn't have been having, so.
And
she's forgiven me,
And in that sense, whether it's a marriage or whether it's a relationship, the whole metaphor of a woman submitting to a man, which is part of the patriarchal culture, is actually performance. It's a play that we do. It's a play that we do, and it's a play that we do.
Pulling back the vein. You pulling back the curtain a little bit. Oh, sucky now.
And then just like the ability to celebrate a man's virility and strength without being afraid of it because he's your man.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah. It's all yours. Let me see what it can do.
Let me see what it can do, baby.
On that vein, I'm going to hit you with another poem.
Okay, hit me with it.
This one I call Katie. Girl I probably should have married, one of them at least. She'd always been the most enlivened when we stole away to make long love again. Her bosoms nestled like a pulsing pair of pink-nosed puppies resting in my palms. Our passion permeated all the air, and afterward she had me singing songs.
All right now.
Yeah, that lady did a number on me.
Oh,
let her get away,
Katie,
though.
Miss Sweet Katie.
Yeah, let her get
Why
away.
you let Miss Sweet Katie get away, John?
I don't know. I was stupid. I was a gamboling lamb on the grass. She's passed now. This is so long ago. Yeah.
You had a full little love life,
You got that right. You got that right.
Go back through the pages and be like, oh, okay, this one right here. Oh, we was on the floor in the kitchen. Mama came in. She had a period. Okay. All right, we doing all kind of things.
Yeah.
All right.
I had to clean up that kitchen floor because there was menstrual blood all over
I
it.
bet.
Well, let's take menstruation to the opposite effect. You have babies. You have boys. You have grown, beautiful babies. How do you celebrate? How do they take it? How do you educate them? Because a lot of moms aren't like you. And so what's the difference in how they're being raised? You know what I'm saying?
Now, when I was married, I was more demure and restricted.
That is somehow hard for me to believe. Somehow.
But as my true self, as my true single self, like I want to raise sons that are not only providers but are passionate producers of penis pleasure.
Yeah. They should make a woman happy.
They should be able to make a woman happy. And
women are people.
That's right. Women are whole people. So for one, they do learn to have a different kind of relationship with a woman, because I actually talk to each one of my sons and I have relationships with them, and so they understand that a woman is a whole person, and so they're getting that experience. And then I don't have the first project we did in my dining room, so my oldest two hold her way too much. They be coming downstairs like, I'm just trying to get something off the refrigerator.
I know.
I just need a snack. Give me away. So I've always been pretty open about sexuality. Like, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for sex. We wouldn't be here. None of us would be here if it wasn't for sex.
You got that right.
So why should we not have good conversations about it and talk about it?
So how does it affect anthropology? Because I know people teach cultural diversity in terms of food and blah, blah, blah. But you talk about diversity in terms of unity and immersion and this one principal libido we all share.
Well, you guys are both anthropologists, and I'm sure you studied Margaret Mead.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Margaret Mead.
Yeah.
I got some concerns. She's all
Coming of
good.
age in Samoa.
I love Ruth Benedict. I love Ruth
liked
Benedict.
how
Oh, yeah.
she talked about
And Margaret Mead
play.
loves her too, all right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I liked how she talked about, though, play, how the kids saw play as what they would do as adults. I thought that was very, very good because we do it, like, all the time. Even in America, no matter what, the kids are mocking the adults in regards to play. So I thought that
She was writing right up against a lot of psychology at the time, and in
Yeah.
psychology they were saying adolescence is a universal experience, and she was actually trying to prove with coming of age in Samoa that adolescence wasn't a universal experience. And it kind of actually is, but in completely different ways. But the thing is, she was staying in a little hotel, and she was a tiny, petite, little cute thing, right? And she had many lovers between her 5 husbands, by the way. She was very, very busy. They lined up, they got tickets, you know what I mean? But basically what happened was the little girls would come to where she was in her little hotel, and they would share their sexual fantasies. They would create, girls do that kind of thing, you know.
We do.
And so she wrote about it thinking that they actually happened.
Right. Oh.
Because she never actually went into the community. This is when anthropology started, right?
Yeah,
and so
a
you
lot
kind
of
of stay at a hotel on the edge, and then the
Long
children they
arm
come and tell you crazy
anthropology.
things about the family, and you write it down, and you know, and I did this
Yes.
with that boy, and he likes me so much. And so, I mean, it was still a worthwhile book to read because you're reading about girls and
Yes.
their sense of play
Yes.
and how they're coming into
Yes.
womanhood, which is completely unruly. You know, it's a crazy gig. But my favorite was Ruth Benedict because she, in terms of that, she got a lot of her experience from talking about patterns of culture
Right.
and play as in pattern
Yes.
and that kind of a thing. But she was arguing against the libido a little more and saying sexuality was more plastic. But I think there's some ingrained aspects
Yeah,
in
I
us,
think it
and then I
is.
think there's a spectrum between.
Absolutely, because everybody's an individual. That's the other thing that interests me in anthropology, like how we would put out these theories about people and cultures and stuff, and I'm like, but there's always somebody who doesn't go along with it. There's always
Exactly.
somebody who's not with the flow. What about those people? How do they feel? What is their takeaway? And so I love that. And then the thing with Margaret Mead and Ruth Benedict, they are really kind of both right, because I did have fantasies as a kid
Oh, God,
about
yeah, I shared a lot.
roaming.
Yeah,
Oh my God,
yeah.
the Love Boat.
Yeah.
I mean, they were probably very
Yeah.
PG, now, but I totally had.
And they brought lactation back to American
Yes.
women. They brought
Yes.
sexuality back into
Yes.
maternity.
Yes.
And I think that's the biggest celebration of womanhood that anthropologists brought back because we were
Yes.
getting real Protestant.
We were.
Yeah, and they were telling us to just straight up feed kids with cans of formula.
We're
And
not
so
supposed to do that.
sexuality
We're not
does
supposed to do
change your maternity.
It
It does change your relationship with your family and your kids.
I think that
Your
women
body's
are,
the house. Your
I think
body's
that
the
women are
house.
more imaginative than men when it comes to fantasizing.
Oh, I
But
don't know.
I could, well, I think, well, maybe not. I think, though, I think I could write a book called Coming of Age on 16th Street. To tell you the truth.
Mine was
but-
called
could
Coming
too.
of Age on Bangladesh Avenue. That was
Okay.
my dissertation. It was all about sex and love
Really?
and arranged marriages.
Oh, I love
it was
that.
all about it.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Yeah. But it was more about love. The sex is always included. But when kids are coming up, that's how they discover each other. That's how they discover themselves, is through
It
loving the other
is.
person. Every person you love teaches you what you wanted to know about yourself.
Anyway, I'm determined.
not
I'm
taking
determined to
wrong.
hit you guys with another poem before the commercial.
Okay.
And this one is called Sitskas.
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 Wow,
That's a Yiddish word.
Okay.
Sitskas. When, where, and whose.
Okay.
From some long ago night of remembered delight, I reconjure the dim but delectable sight of a fevered young person's large mammary glands. I held heaving, immersed in my clammy 2 hands. Yet I can't any longer, nor clearly recall, to whom they belonged, or just when, if at all. Time for a commercial.
And you are watching the John Telford Show, talking about titties, coming to you live, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and other top media platforms. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to us, and the various other programs that we offer here on one of the few black-owned stations in Metro Detroit. Thank you for watching WJZZ Cool TV, the coolest station in the world.
All right. You better keep that energy up, that 86 energy up. You better get it. You better get it.
No, I ain't got anywhere
he
near
ain't
that.
done. He ain't done. He got another 25
done.
years.
Goodness gracious, right?
We got plans. We got plans. Oh, yeah. And
No, it's all history.
All right.
It's all
But you're
history with
talking
the
about
old
putting
man.
on a poetry series at the yacht club.
Yeah, we can do that,
Okay.
but none of these poems, though. I don't think we.
Are you
Yeah,
kidding?
let's put on, yeah.
We got thrown out of there.
Yeah. And you know what?
We
More
can't do
drinks at
sexy
the
stuff.
bar.
I know, you can't do sexy
You
stuff.
can do
Come on
sexy
now.
stuff.
All the people in there are going to go home and do all the sexy stuff we talk about. Why can't we do it?
Yeah, I mean, people
Yeah.
do sexy
Or
stuff
at
the
least
funerals.
like maybe the last hour be sexy.
Here's one. This is a fantasy one. I call
We'll
it.
say twitch instead of twerking.
I call this one. Twitch and say right. Yeah. I call this one celestial communion.
All right.
Way up there in that wide divide between the living and the dead. This is philosophical. Way up there in that wide divide between the living and the dead, I would we could all yet abide upon some boundless starlit bed. You know, wouldn't a dude just relish snuggling with all his lifetime ladies, you know, in a bed up in heaven?
All right.
Or maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe there'd be too much fighting.
In heaven?
Well,
It's supposed to be heaven, right?
in heaven there is no beer. That's why we drink it here. No, that's a different topic. Okay, you know what?
That's the truth.
I think
That is the truth. They heard the truth here.
After this last commercial, I think maybe we got to get off the sexy poetry because there's some things that I want to
We could talk about the city all day.
Right. We have like 9 minutes left.
Commercial.
Right. Oh, we just did it.
So you
Third
get
commercial?
yeah.
Oh, we did. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, well then let
So
me.
we're into the chat now.
Yeah, into the chat. Okay. Cultural fragility.
Yeah. Let's talk.
Cultural fragility.
Right.
That's a heavy topic, and that's your topic.
It is.
I love
And I
the
want to
term.
know how cultural fragility impacts your work.
Define it for us first.
Yeah,
Because
define
I
it
love
first.
the term.
So cultural fragility deals with our us becoming so hypersensitive in culture that we are unable to have conversation and connection with other people who think differently than us. We are so at a point where we're in cancel culture, and you gotta listen to what we say, and you can't say anything
That's
wrong
right.
out of pocket that is offensive because there are sanctions. There are these social sanctions instead of having a wider space for understanding.
Yeah.
Okay. When you walk into a room, and I walk into a room, I don't think people are going to assume that they need to run my pronouns. It's okay if they do.
Yeah.
And it's okay if you mess them up.
Yeah. It's
And
okay if
it's
you can't
okay.
pronounce my name.
And it's okay if you can't pronounce my name.
Or know my dog's name.
Or it's okay if I'm a brown person and you can't pinpoint where I'm from. You're not supposed to be able to. Okay?
Yeah. Most of us are brown.
Have a conversation.
Yeah.
Learn to connect with people.
I had brown
as
hair
people.
for a while. Got brown eyes.
But I like that you brought up cultural fragility because this is national level politics and these binary discussions that are happening on the national level that are really tearing us apart, even down to families. People are arguing in families over party politics. I'm like, these fools aren't coming to your funeral. I am.
They're not. They
Yeah.
don't care, and they don't
Yeah.
care. They don't care.
So why are families arguing with each other about politics? Is it really politics? What do you think is up with that?
I think America has created this wonderful frenzy of shit to like and not to like. And we gonna pick teams and we gonna fight. And there's just something in the fabric of how we have created America. And then America also does this thing where we put out this wonderful propaganda about how we are, but then the government goes over here and we gonna go over to Cuba and we gonna fuck their shit up.
That's
and then
right.
the Cubans gonna come over here and we gonna tell the American people that they forced to come over here, they taking over jobs. And then we gonna go over here and we gonna fuck up some shit over here in the Middle East and we gonna tell the American people something different than what's going on. And we gonna hide the gas prices because people in Congress get more money. Anyway,
how's that?
Okay, I'm just. In the meantime, they got us on the ground so confused about the facts
watching
about
children
what's
in
going
war
on.
Right. There are children dying everywhere. God bless
we don't
them.
have good sense. We don't have good sense anymore. Good common sense, and the common sense to talk to each other. Like if my neighbor does something wrong or something that I don't like, you should talk to your neighbor, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it does.
Don't
But
put it
people
on
move
Facebook.
around so much, people don't even know their neighbors anymore.
There you go. And don't post it on Facebook though. Don't put it on Facebook though. And put your neighbor all out on. Don't do that. Just have a conversation.
Is it that American cultural contagion of manifest destiny? Because even when ethnic groups get here, they're like, okay, nobody else.
Right.
What is it about that?
This is what y'all started.
What's this idea of entitlement that we have?
I'm afraid it's
right?
human nature. I really am afraid it's human nature.
Yeah, but different governments are constructed differently. There are other multi-cultural governments that look at tribal rights. America won't look at tribal rights. No, you have to become your own nation and live on a reservation with a booze store. You know, that is not tribal rights. South Africa recognizes it.
How you
India
gonna come to
recognizes it.
somebody else's country and just take all their stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, and then how do we talk about reparations when we're asking somebody who stole the shit in the first place to give us some of it, some of the booty, so to speak? Can we share that booty? How do we do this?
They're like, no, I'm keeping all the booty for myself.
I know. I know.
And I
then we're
can't.
surprised.
And when I talk to my kids in class, I know, the CRT thing.
Yeah.
Luckily, we in college. We don't have to. I'm
Teaching
sorry.
is CRT.
Right. Yeah. That's. I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I tell the kids all the time. We have really. I love teaching anthropology because it does allow for you to have all of these kind of conversations about just people.
Yeah.
And I love having conversations around race and being able to say, like, as a black woman, I totally fucking get it. If I was a white man, I wouldn't want to give up my power. I would not want to give up my access. I would not want to give my ability to get up out of my bed, go walk around and go anywhere and ain't nobody questioning nothing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to give that up. I would not want to give that up for the opportunity to compete now with others. Open competition.
And even more so with kids, because they say, yeah, we're all cute. But when it comes to you having kids, you're going to save all your money for your kids. You're not going to share with your neighbor, even if they look the same. You're not even going to share with your cousin.
Right.
So as long as we're generating our own kids, that drive, that libidinal drive through our children makes us hoard resources from one another. Way more than just politics. It's in our instinct.
Yes, it is.
This is heavy.
It is so much to talk about.
I'm going to do another sexy poem. What the hell?
Oh, God.
We got to lighten up a little
I need
bit.
to borrow your phone and
We got to lighten up a little bit. I think this is on 2 pages. I don't know. See.
Uh-oh, you got a nice juicy one on 2 pages.
Yeah, but it's a short one. This is called The Clit Is It.
Okay. It is! Celebrate the clit.
Yeah.
8,000 nerve endings.
8,000 nerve endings. Man, that's
the biggest fingertip
how many
in
is
the
a penis
world.
got?
Woo, 5,000, I think.
No
it's like that.
kidding.
I think
Wow.
it's less.
You guys got to
But you know what? That happens over time because of circumcision.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Keep the hood.
They never should have circumcised
Keep
us.
the hood, protect your
They
engine.
kept us circumscribed and circumcised. Oh, we're out of time.
2 more minutes.
Yeah, we got 2 more minutes.
Okay, the clit is it. In December 53, the fair Floretta said to me, I have to tell you, Johnny T, you need to play some more with me. You have failed miserably to stimulate sufficiently the central focus of my little rosebud locus.
Oh, right.
In January 54, I searched and found the open core of her little rosebud's locus and its central focus. So right there on her parlor floor, she climaxed with a mighty roar. And I heard that sound so many times after in my life, but that was the first time, and I can remember it almost.
You got it right. You got it right.
Almost scared the shit out of me.
Okay, all right.
I got one last. Because I got to take a shot at Trump.
Okay, there you go. You gonna take a
Can
shot?
I?
Take a shot. One shot.
Oh, okay. Uncivil warfare. Alternate title is a turd that hasn't flushed. On this evil and fatal occasion of the Capitol building invasion, the traitor Trump's collusion demands his execution. God yet hasn't pushed the lever on the traitor Trump forever. And when he does, I'm hoping to hell it's a lever of the gas chamber. But it never will be. Let's face it. Hope he goes to prison anyway.
At least, right?
At least.
And we've been sharing time with Professor Tamika Davis Shelton here at Wayne County Community College. She also has her own show on WJZZ called Orgasm every Friday at 7 p.m. Right. Don't forget to educate your feelings. And you've been listening to the John Telford Detroit Show, coming to you on Wednesdays. With your co-host, Dr. Sunanda Samuthra on WJZZ Cool TV on Wednesdays from 10 to 11 in the morning, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. It was the late, great Dr. Wayne Dyer who said, Dr. John Telford has a warrior's heart and a poet's soul. Listen also to Dr. Telford on WCHB AM 1340, Saturday mornings at 9:30 and Monday evenings at 6:30. And tune in again next Wednesday morning at 10 o'clock.